Hey there, everyone. So today we are going to take a look at doing a scope of work in BrainLeaf. So we've got this. This was the request, and we're going to be taking this request, which I kind of just copied and pasted in a notepad. It was in my email. I don't want to talk about who the client is, so I've just got I've just copied and pasted it in here. So this is a veterinary office, and they want to do a few minor changes to their website, and they want to kind of reset some of their PPC stuff and their AdWords. So I'm going to show you how we're going to write this scope of work in BrainLeaf. Okay, so first off, they want to do ad tracking, ad conversion tracking. We're going to fix some disapproved ads. They've got some stuff for vaccines, and Google is shutting down anything that has the word vaccine in it. Increase max CPC for keywords that are performing well. Exclude audiences. They've got a lot of audiences they're hitting that don't need to be in there, and we're going to help them figure out which location to target. Let's see what else we got on their website. Currently on their site, they're not showing. There's no conversion tracking at all for if a user on a mobile device just clicks the phone number. They're not tracking that at all. It also needs a little bit of conversion. There's no call to action on the homepage. It's not a poorly designed website. There's just no tracking. There's no call to action. I think somebody just took it off at some point. So this is a pretty simple set of work. Oh, and we've got, of course, optimized for speed, which I missed. So this is a pretty simple little scope of work, and I'm going to show you how I would go about doing that. So first off, we've really got kind of two different areas. We've got optimize Google Ads, AdWords budget, and the second section is changes to the website. And they're also, by the way, going to increase to $1,000 a month in ad spend. So let's take a look at this. So I'm just going to scoot this over here so I can see them both. All right. So first I'm going to add cards. I'm going to add a section for, bring this right back, Google AdWords stuff, PPC, and then another section for the website. And I'm actually going to add another item into here before we get done. All right, so what I ended up with, scoot this back in again. Oh, and then a section for the goals. So I've got one section for goals, one section for AdWords, that's 2, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The website is 8, 9, 10. I think we're going to go ahead and just add 11 cards to start just because it makes it easier, unless I forgot something. So I'm just going to go ahead here, and I'm just going to scoot this up to 11. Actually, I'll make it 12, just in less. These aren't pages, though. These are just kind of tasks. So, let's see. I'm going to add one just because there's a problem where if it gets too long, I can't see everything. There we go. So let's add another 10 or 11. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to do T for task. There we go. 11 tasks added to the system. Create 11 tasks. There they are. And it's going to start me at the end. You can see it highlighted that item for me. All right, I'm going to go back up to the top though, and what I want to do is I want to organize this so I've got subsections here. So let's go ahead and turn this one into a section. There we go, section, and I'm just going to come over here to templates, and I'm just going to drop all these guys into there. So I want these to be categorized or categorized and subcategorized. So I don't remember how many we had in there. I think it was like 4 or 5, and drop them in there. Okay, so now we got some blank cards under this blank card. So this section is going to be optimize Google AdWords. Optimize Google AdWords and other PPC. You know what? We'll just call it Google AdWords. There we go. Okay, and I've just realized I forgot a top level section. So let's take one of these other ones and drag it up here to the top. And we're going to make this one goals. Let's call this goals. And I'm just going to copy and paste in what the client told me on that one. Really, the odds that we're going to increase by 25% within 1 to 3 months is fairly small, it's going to take a little bit longer than that. It's going to be heavily driven by how much money she puts into AdWords. So it's something that we're going to be shooting for, but this is something we told the client up front. I'm also, by the way, going to take this and I'm going to make this notes. So we've got some goals notes. There we go. All right, now we got Google AdWords, and what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to add in ad conversion tracking. So ad conversion tracking, if you'll notice, it automatically, it does camel case, so first letter for each word is capitalized, and this is going to be track user clicks on phone number from mobile devices. That's number one. And number two is track contact form submissions. So we're going to use those two items as conversion tracking for right now in this system. Eventually, she might do a lot more than this, but this is how it's starting off right now. So we've got conversion tracking. And actually, that needs to go, now that I'm looking at it, that needs to go under the website changes. Well, actually, that's going to be, let's not do it there. Let's do it, ad conversion tracking in Google Analytics. This is, by the way, also going to take a little bit of code change on the front end. So let's just say that's going to be kind of a CMS integration piece because there's some code, and that's probably going to be like, I don't know, let's put it at an hour and a half because you don't really know what it's going to take to actually get into their system and take care of everything. It's also going to take some changes inside of Google AdWords, so I'm just going to call this one system setup. So we got system setup, and this is going to take like half an hour probably to go into their AdWords and actually set it up. It might take less time, but we also take into account the amount of time it takes to actually like call her, get the information, figure all that stuff out, get in, check if it's not right, etc. So there we go. That's that. Next item, we've got fixing some disapproved ads. So let's come down to this next one here, and we're just going to call this fix disapproved ads. There it is. Advertise by name. So she wants to advertise some things by name. May or may not be possible. We got to look into it. So this one's going to come into probably just project consulting or system setup. It's kind of AdWords system setup, but let's do project consultation on this. And let's just say this is going to take like, it's going to take more than 2 hours. Let's say like 4 hours on that. I got to review her stuff. Let's go 3. Probably got to review it. Got to like make sure everything's going to work. Check it with Google. Retest it the next day. Look at everything. Call her up if it doesn't work out. All of that. So we got fixing disapproved ads. Okay. Increase max CPC for keywords is performing well. We're going to go do that one here. Drop this in here. And I'm going to call this maximize CPC. Maximize CPC for keywords. Okay, there we go. Exclude audiences. Okay, this one's going to be exclude audiences. There's that. Help us figure out. All right, next one is target geographic areas. So we're going to call this one better target geographic areas. Okay, there's that. Okay, so these two kind of go together. It's kind of like who is, excluding audiences and targeting geographic areas is definitely part of just figuring the audience system. So I'm just going to go ahead and drop this in. So it's kind of a subsection because I don't want to price that twice because we're doing it at the same time. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down as Project Consult as well. And let's say this is going to take us like probably 2.5 hours. And 2.5 hours is pretty reasonable for that. By the way, this is not a big system at all. They spend like $500 a month right now. There's not that many audiences. There's only a couple markets. It's a real specific region. It's not a big project. If it were, the bigger the project, the more these numbers grow, and they can grow exponentially based on the number of different markets you've got and how kind of how diverse those markets are, what has to get done with them, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so there's that. And the maximize CPC, let's go with Project Consult as well. This is something that takes time, and it's kind of back and forth. Let's just go with 3 hours for now. And it might be a little bit more. Okay, there we go. All right, next is going to be for the website stuff. So let's come up here and let's turn this into a section as well. There's our section. Oh, this one here. Section. Okay, and drop this over here. Drop this over here. All right, we got those all ordered. And now in here, we're going to say this one is going to be website changes. And we really only got two things here. We've got optimize for mobile conversions. So I'm just going to put this in here, make the note in there. Let's go add phone number to main call CTA. Add phone number to main call to action area of homepage, and review other pages for call to action areas. Need to be updated. So we'll review it. If it's easy, we'll just change it. And this is going to be a CMS integration item. This is like an hour probably. I happen to know that I've already looked at the site, and it's going to take us about an hour to do this. It's a WordPress site. It's really simple. It's got a nice promo system on there already. It should be pretty simple. Okay, and then we're going to optimize for speed. That's the last thing. So it's really, there's not that much we can do here. It's a little bit. And what we're going to do with this is we're just going to minify the code. So there's like, it's not a poorly done site. Minify code. It's not a poorly done site. We're just going to install a plugin and minify the code. It's going about as fast as it can for what it's got. There's a ton of stuff we could do. We could put in caching. Actually, let's go ahead and do that. And we'll just say potentially add caching system. So there we go. Anyway, but it's not poorly done. It's not a bad site. It just needs a couple little plugins. If that doesn't work, then we might come back and make some other suggestions. Potentially add caching system. Easy. Okay, so this one's going to be CMS integration as well. Probably an hour max. There we go. Okay, so here we go. We got 2 more blank cards. I think that's what we said we were going to have it before. 2 items. So I'm just going to delete these guys. Item, and click delete. There we go. And all right, so you can see what happened is I got an hour here, and these two added up to this top level section here with 2 hours. The other thing I might do here that would probably be nice is I might say, you might want to come in and say like, oh, website changes, these are the changes we're doing to the website. I feel like the title here is pretty self-explanatory, but sometimes it's nice if it's not, to like put in the goals or put in other things in there. Up here, you can see all these things add up to a total of 1575. If we were to add hours onto this section too, it would add that to the total also. But I separate them out like this, so that if she comes back and she says, oh, actually, we don't really need whatever, this exclude audiences for some reason, then she just take it out, and that's going to cut the price down. But I'm going to go ahead and put that back in. And after that, all we're going to do is I would change the title here so that we all know who what the actual project is. And then I would just print it up and send it over, and I would share the link. And if that looks good, then I'd click on send for approval, send it for approval, and get going on it. That's the project. That's how to do it. That's how I put it all together. And in just a second, I'm going to get off this recording, and I'm going to change the name. I'm going to do all those things. And this client is pretty well already agreed to this price on these things. And so we're going to get started on this project. Thanks so much, guys. I hope this was helpful, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.